Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we have finished UFC 286. The card has ended, and for the first time of the year, I could probably say I was happy for once, because man, nothing has been going my right way, but finally something has. We're going to be breaking down the card. First, starting off, Juliana Miller fought Veronica Hardy. I did not realize that was the same, that was Hardy's girl, to be honest with you, when I was doing my initial run through. But yes, she won by a unanimous decision. Then Jai Herbert went to a draw with Ludovic Klein because of a point deduction. It was a decent fight, I gotta say. Jai Herbert impressed me. His striking has always been decent, but he's been rather chinny. He was able to overcome that, and he fought a pretty good fight against Ludovic Klein. John Wood versus Luana Carolina. Luana Carolina just didn't seem like she wanted to be in there. I'm really happy this is not main. This was supposed to be on the main card. I'm happy they alleviated that issue. Yeah, Luana Carolina just did not look like she wanted to be there. She was definitely scarred mentally because literally her last fight was in that same arena where she was brutally knocked out in the worst loss of her career. Joanne Wood, even though she was on a 3-fight skid, she just was more mentally tough. She landed a lot more shots. She was striking overall, I'd say, much more effective, 64% to 55%. Just simply won. I don't agree with it being a split decision. I thought it was a unanimous decision for Joanne Wood. I believe, yeah, she won every single round, honestly. I don't know how on earth they were able to label that as a split decision, but yeah. Then Jake Headley versus Malcolm Gordon. My God. Headley, wow. Malcolm Gordon missed weight too. Normally you think that would give him an advantage being a heavier guy, but hey, Headley just unloaded, took him out, and then he just knocked him down and just drew strike after strike. That was a brutal beatdown, a very short but brutal beatdown. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Dusko Todorovic. Oh, sad. It's sad to see fellow Serb go out like that. Sad to see him go out basically like similar to like Aspinall went. People I like always go out usually, except for Leon Edwards. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was super high on Dusko. I was honestly feeling Christian Leroy Duncan would get the win, to be perfectly honest with you, but it was still anticlimactic. Looks like he hurt his leg or his knee right at the basically 2 minutes into fight. Yeah. Sad. You never want to see a fight end like that. I'd rather see him go out with sword and shield, but oh well. Christian Leroy Duncan wins by TKO. Leron Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. They just threw down. They simply just threw down. A lot of power shots in the earlier rounds, but then round 3 was just a lot of pitter-patter strikes. Not a whole lot on it, but overall, it was a pretty solid fight. Back and forth war that eventually went to a split decision. A lot of people were saying this was a robbery. A lot of people thought Santos won. I don't think so. I think Leron Murphy, he just landed the more effective strikes, and he outlanded him by 1%. Not much, but takedowns don't do, like, I don't know why people keep having this idea, but they're now enforcing how it should be done now, like, according to the rules, where takedowns do not equal damage. Damage trumps takedowns and ground control. If you're doing nothing with your ground control, if you're not doing a lot of damage, you're not hitting them a lot, you're not doing a lot with it, it doesn't mean anything. But if you have someone's back, that's effective grappling. Just being on top of them, laying on a blanket, no. And I'm fine with that, but there are cases where it's a little bit weirder. Regardless, Leron Murphy won. Move on to the prelims. Muhammad Makayev versus Jafel Filo. Both a good and poor showing from Muhammad Makayev. He's got that dog in him. That's what he showed. He proved that he has that dog in him. He has no quit. He is an absolute animal, and he will fight to the end. But you don't want to see that kind of performance against a guy who was his UFC debut, I believe it was. And yeah, Jafel Filo was not like a high profile, high target. And the fact that he potentially almost took him out, that knee submission, that it was a knee bar, I believe, that was so vicious. And the fact that Muhammad didn't tap, he just said he'd rather lose his leg than lose the fight and tap. Like, my God. Then he got on top of him and he took him down. If Filo got separation, Muhammad wouldn't have been able to stand and it would have been a TKO. But the fact that he was able to get that, only 30 seconds left in the round, oh my God, it was amazing. That was amazing. That was an amazing performance. Because of that, I just gotta say, man, whew, Muhammad Makayev, you got that dog in you, but man, he might have really hurt himself. He might be injured for a while. I hope he could bounce back, but I don't know. He was just coming off a shoulder injury, so oh man. Sam Patterson versus ONeill Ashmov. Forget my pronunciation. I'm not gonna try. ONeill. Wow. Sam Patterson had a massive height and reach advantage. Didn't matter. Caught the kick, sweeped him off, and as he was tripping, caught him with that hit. And it just damaged him, rocked him bad, got on top of him, and beat the life out of him. Sam Patterson, when he came to, was trying to grapple with the ref. I believe it was Goddard. My God, dude. Patterson, boy, was concussed. Massive concussive ground and pound by ONeill. That was an amazing win. He got the TKO at 1 minute 15 seconds. Chris Duncan versus Omar Moraes. Yeah, Duncan was just more effective. I'd say Omar checked like almost all of his kicks. It was amazing how much of his kicks he was checking, but just Duncan got the more effective striking. A lot of people thought this was a robbery. I still could see that. Yeah, I could see maybe, but I just think it was just a close fight and a split decision, to be honest with you. So yeah, not a whole lot into it. It was just a pretty decent fight. Chris Duncan versus Omar Moraes is going to be the winner by split decision. Jack Shore versus Mach. I'm gonna stop there. Jack Shore, this was his featherweight debut, coming off his loss to Ricky Simon, losing his unbeaten streak. And I gotta say, he looked slow and sluggish. He did not, again, it was kind of like the Makayev thing where this is not a good showing for you. You're supposed to decimate this guy at negative 500, minus 500. You're supposed to decimate him. You really didn't do that, but he got the W, and he did get a dominant submission, honestly. He looked decent in his boxing, but again, he just looked slow. His boxing submission game was on point, but man, he really needs to get accustomed to the featherweight weight. He needs to get accustomed to being a heavier guy, and he needs to pick up his speed, because you can't be looking that sluggish against the top 15 featherweights, because they will eat you up. You are not getting past a Bryce Mitchell, an Ilia Topuria, a Bryan Ortega, a TKZ even, with that kind of performance. But he got the W. Now to the main card. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. A fight I was pretty hyped for, but ended up living to my actual expectations, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know, man. I thought this would be a little bit more exciting of a fight, but again, my testament to middleweight. Roman Dolidze was actually bullying Marvin Vettori, which is surprising to me. And again, another one, a fight a lot of people thought was a robbery, but they weren't paying attention. While Roman Dolidze had some hard shots and he also had a lot of pressure, the thing is leg kicks and volume. Marvin Vettori had more volume. He had good strikes too. It's not like Roman Dolidze completely and totally outpowered him. He definitely had more power in his strikes, but Vettori had the pressure, he had the pace, he had a good strategy kicking his legs. Now, there were slapping kicks to the thigh, which is not the best, to be honest with you, but they were frequent. He never gave them up. He kept them up consistently, and that took a lot of power and pop off Roman Dolidze. He may have had more pressure and more octagon control time overall, to be honest with you, but the thing is, like, he just didn't have enough power to strike Vettori, if that makes sense. Vettori had less power, but his volume made up for it. If you look at significant strikes, Vettori outlanded him with significant strikes every single round, just because of volume. Simple as that. I'm surprised Vettori fought like that. I thought he would do a lot better, but you know what? He got the W, and the tired and true Vettori decision. I called that. I had that. But then we go on to Jennifer Maia versus Casey ONeill, which I did not have. So Jennifer Maia, who was on a skid, the older veteran, beat the undefeated Casey ONeill. Casey ONeill I felt her problem was her power. She looked undersized and underpowered for the division. She had pretty solid accuracy. And I was saying this throughout the fight, but not seeing the data. She was 52% of 264 strikes. She had much better accuracy. But the problem is she didn't have the power. She would land flush on the jaw, 52% of her significant strikes and her overall strikes. Well, in fact, all of her strikes are significant strikes according to this. But she would land flush on the jaw, but Maia would just, okay, I'm going to land an 18-piece combo. Missed a few shots. Honestly, not a lot of power to him, but just out volume. Same thing as the Marvin Vettori versus Dolidze fight. Just volume, pressure, and then Casey ONeill just didn't have the power. She hurt her some few times. She hit her some good shots, but Maia would just clap back. And I don't feel either had the power to take each other out, but just Maia had more volume. Casey ONeill, she really needed to just start swinging. Like that third round, honestly, because she lost. You might want to give her round 1, but round 2, she definitely lost. Regardless, round 3, she just went out swinging because it was evident that Maia didn't have the power or striking acumen to take her out. She definitely had the volume, but not like she wasn't gonna hit her flush on the chin, and she wasn't gonna hit her with a power shot. Casey ONeill should just start winging. She should start winging, but she did not, unfortunately, and she lost by, it was a unanimous decision, correct? Yep, a unanimous decision win for Jennifer Maia. I got that one wrong. Gunnar Nelson, I got that one right. Gunnar Nelson, oh man, he's tired and true too. Gunnar Nelson is a good fighter. He is often, no, a lot of people like him. It's just they underestimate him. He had the submission game, 13 submissions now. Of course, he's going to take out Bryan Barberena. Bryan Barberena got submitted and dominated by RDA. I'm surprised Gunnar Nelson did it faster, but as I said in my breakdown video, Gunnar Nelson had more power. He was bigger and stronger than RDA because he is a natural welterweight. RDA is a big lightweight who could definitely work well at welterweight, but Gunnar Nelson is a true welterweight. He had more power and top pressure. I will say he was more hesitant. He was definitely more hesitant, and I just don't feel like he really pushed the pace as much as the start, and he was definitely wary of Bryan Barberena's power. One or two kicks from Barberena actually really hurt his leg and bruised him. But once he got on top, he landed some crafty elbows, and then Bryan Barberena saw that the round was ending, so he kind of took the foot off the gas pedal. Big mistake, because Gunnar Nelson is crafty. He's tricky with that. He saw with that last ditch effort, he had very few time in the round, and he still got that tricky arm bar. Got Bryan Barberena out there. Round 1 submission for Gunnar Nelson. Pretty good. I would like to see him maybe get a ranked opponent now. He fought Leon Edwards. He fought Kamaru Usman, right? I believe he fought Kamaru Usman. Regardless, no, he didn't fight Usman. Who else did he fight? Oh, Burns. He fought Burns. And yeah, he fought some good competition, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't give him a ranked opponent. That'd be nice. And now for the fight of the night. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I got this wrong, but I'm fine with that. I'm a fan of both guys. Justin Gaethje got his historic 1 takedown. He attempted 3, actually, but he got 1 takedown. Finally, guys, it's over. Stop criticizing Gaethje's wrestling. It's over. He's got a takedown. D1 Gaethje is back, baby. No, I'm kidding. Regardless, Justin Gaethje proved he belongs in his spot at the top lightweight rankings. He proved it because he outstruck and beat Rafael Fiziev. He didn't beat him because wrestling. He beat him in striking. He landed more strikes, and he landed at a higher volume, higher clip. Rafael Fiziev was really good. He did really good round 1. He actually beat Gaethje round 1. He actually beat Gaethje round 1 in all honesty. Landing more strikes, but lower percentage actually. But I just like his combos. I like the speed. He was very furious with his hooks, and they were super accurate. His kicks were really good. He landed a really good kick to body, left a lot of redness in Gaethje's stomach. But the problem with Fiziev is, I mentioned this during the fight, and I mentioned this during my breakdown video. Fiziev can gas. He didn't gas against RDA, but he did gas out against Bobby Green, and I don't know how I feel about that. And it came to pass because he lost a lot of steam in round 2 towards the end. And then round 3, it was the Gaethje show. He did not have any adjustments for the uppercuts. Those uppercuts were pretty flush. That's the thing Gaethje does really well. Fiziev really adjusted for Gaethje's left hook, which is also one of his best weapons. Despite being orthodox, he has a really good left hook. Think like an Alex Pereira. He always combos it. And he really didn't have an adjustment. He had adjustment for the left hook, but he did not have adjustment for then his follow-up right uppercut. And Gaethje reestablished his jab in round 3 as well too, which Fiziev did not have a jab. He did not find his jab. The leg kicks for Gaethje wasn't doing a whole lot. Like, it buckled him a few times, but Fiziev did a good job of nullifying those to an extent. And Fiziev's body kicks were definitely the winner in the kicking game. Fiziev was definitely good. He definitely had some power to him, but Gaethje just busted him up with the jab and those uppercuts. Actually busted his face up pretty bad, and Justin Gaethje won by decision. Majority decision. Didn't see that coming. That's surprising. So it also proves my thing, what I said too. I felt Fiziev was the second best striker in the lightweight division, but we had not seen him against elite competition. I said that. We now saw him against elite competition, and he lost in a striking war, which then reaffirms my point then that Dustin Poirier is the best striker at lightweight. And you know what we should get? Gaethje said this prior to this fight. He wants to get a title shot, but he feels he might have to go through Poirier again. Make that fight. Dustin versus Justin 2 was such a good fight back in the day. My fight of the year in it wasn't my fight of the year in 2018. I'm sorry, that was Israel versus Gastelum, but amazing fight. I want to see that fight again, please. I'm fine with it. A lot of people don't like how the top 5 lightweight is basically doing a round robin and only fighting each other, whatever. Well, the younger guys need to come up and break through. We saw one of the younger, newer guard trying to break through against Gaethje, and they could not. Gaethje ended up winning, so it only makes sense for him to fight one of the top guys who have not lost. Like, that's the thing. Dustin may have lost against Oliveira, but he submitted Michael Chandler. So you know what? Run it back. Dustin versus Justin. And come on, guys. That's a fun fight. Come on, guys. You may be upset about that, but it's a fun fight, man. I don't think it should be on a fight night. I don't think it should be a fight night, but I think it should be 5 rounds. It should be 5 rounds on a pay-per-view. Maybe International Fight Week. I don't know. Dustin versus Justin 2, I feel, is the fight to make. Rafael Fiziev is going to have to fight down. I don't know if Arman Saryukin has a fight yet, to be honest with you, but I think that would be the fight I would want for him. Trying to think what else would be a decent fight, honestly. Lightweight. Gamrot would be a fun fight. Yeah, Gamrot, Arman. I feel like those would be his best fights because he always beat RDA. Jalen Turner. Maybe a Jalen Turner, but yeah. Don't murder Dan Hooker. Don't murder Dan Hooker. And for the main event of the evening, Leon Edwards, majority decision, defeated Kamaru Usman. Yes. Pound for pound, headshot dead, solidified it, won the trilogy. I am happy. You'll love to see it. I know in my best bets, I put Kamaru Usman by decision because, to be honest with you, I wanted Leon to win, but I didn't have faith, and I'm sorry for that. Leon Edwards is my boy, and he won. Now, it wasn't the most exciting fight, to be perfectly honest with you. Gaethje versus Fiziev definitely stole the show as the clear fight of night, but it was definitely a very technical chess match. And Leon Edwards just proved to have the better game plan going in there. I don't even know what Usman's game plan was, to be perfectly honest with you. He just kind of fought it coasting, to be perfectly honest with you. While Leon Edwards made a lot of adjustments and a lot of new wrinkles in his game. I don't like how he wasn't punching as much. He seemed a little bit timid, but after watching his post-fight press conference, punching was not part of his plan, but it really should be. And he needs to bring back those elbows. Those are so good, but regardless, he was kicking above the knee. Nobody does that to Usman. We know he has bad knees, so kick at his knees and you take a lot of pop out of his step. And that's the thing too. That's exactly what happened. Usman shot 15 takedowns and he only landed 4, and the ones he landed, Edwards got back up on. The reason why was because he didn't have the power he needs to really get it. The few takedowns he got, he used upper body strength. Like at one point, he got a single leg, he sort of dropped him down, scooped him up, and that's how he got Edwards down. There was no leg strength in there because Edwards chopped up his legs. He did a really good job chopping up his legs. Usman would try to adjust by having a wider stance, and Edwards would swap from an outside leg kick to an inside leg kick. And Edwards is also varied in his stance, and he would swap orthodox or southpaw for body kicks. And he did a magnificent job of it. He just had a really good game plan. He also really bulked up too. Edwards looked massive. I was about to say he did not look that big in the second fight, but he looked big, man. And that allowed Usman to not bully him. Usman pressured him up against the fence most of the time, which is very good on Usman's part, but Edwards was just circle away with superior speed. He just had more speed. He had a better game plan, simple as that, and he was able to win. Now, I honestly thought Edwards won every round except for probably round 4. I think I'm going to give it, I don't know. I kind of want to give that to Usman round 4, I think, but barely. Regardless, I thought every round, literally, Edwards won. The only round he didn't win, officially, and everyone, including myself, is round 3 because of the fence grab. Now, the glove grab maybe could have been accident. Wasn't. I don't think it was. The groin strikes, accidental, and I feel one of them wasn't even a groin strike. Usman has a penchant for feinting low blows. He does a lot, and when it hits him at the belt line, he does this all the time. And to be fair, too, Usman grabs the gloves all the time. And Usman also grabs, no, not the gloves all the time. He grabs the fence all the time. It was Cerrone who did the glove grab to Edwards. But yeah, he grabs the fence all the time. But, the fence grab by Leon Edwards was a stupid maneuver. He didn't need to do that. He would have gotten up, honestly, and he wouldn't have lost the round. That's the thing. Like, yeah, maybe Usman could have did so much on the ground with that one takedown, but he really wasn't throughout his other takedowns. So honestly, Edwards should just let it, take him down the ground, and just get back up. He was getting back up. He's doing a great job of it. And that's the thing. That fence grab is what lost him the round. That costed him the round. I've seen a few, I think one judge actually gave the round to Usman, so it became a 10-8 because of point deduction. But I don't know, man. That was just a dumb mistake by Edwards, but it didn't matter anyways because then he just won every round. Was it super dominant? No, but it was super close. Think the Islam versus Volkanovski fight. Also, Edwards did a really good job of not letting Usman clasp his hands and complete those takedowns. He just fought. An intelligent game plan, and that's a guy who could beat everyone in the division except for probably a Hamzat or a Shavkat. But I want to mention Shavkat because he has poor head movement. Don't forget, Shavkat has very poor head movement, and Edwards will absolutely capitalize on that. He fought a lot more tentatively because he knew of the wrestling threat, but Shavkat is a very good wrestler, but it's not like he's exclusively a wrestler, and he struggles with bigger guys like a Jeff Neal. Edwards is pretty big. He's pretty big, so I don't know. Regardless, Leon Rocky Edwards solidified his legacy. Hall of Famer, guaranteed. He beat Usman fair and square. A lot of people said he caught lightning in the bottle the second fight. Doesn't matter. There is no lightning catching in this fight. Just Usman caught those hands and those kicks. And your boy Rocky Edwards is the champion. And now we have to talk about the most egregious bullshizer in UFC. And I'm happy. This also made me like Edwards a lot more. Colby Chaos Covington. Why on earth does he deserve a title shot? According to Dana White, said no matter what, that's the fight to make. He's earned it. For what? This is going to be a rant, by the way. For what? He beat Masvidal. He beat ranked 11 Masvidal. I think he was 9 when he fought Colby. Okay, let's look at Colby's wins. Who has he beaten in the top 15 that is even in the UFC? Nobody. Literally. Woodley, not in the UFC. Lawler, no longer in the UFC. Dos Anjos, he's not ranked anymore. Maia, he's no longer in the UFC. Barberena, not ranked. He was never ranked. Why? He just lost to Usman. Decision, he lost. Then he beat Masvidal. It wasn't even like a super extravagant knockout finish. It was just a domination. And now we're going to give him a title shot? Excuse me? No, that's stupid. And Edwards, I'm so happy he called that out. He said, nah, I'm going to go to Miami and see what happens between Burns and Masvidal. Now, Masvidal deserves it even less. But Burns, if he beats Masvidal, which, come on, he probably will, he deserves that title shot. But I feel one person actually deserves a title shot more than anybody. Khamzat Chimaev, if he fought someone, he would deserve it. But I feel the guy who deserves a title shot is Belal freaking Muhammad. Who is beaten? When's the last time Belal Muhammad lost? Man, you gotta go way back. Jeff Neal is the last person to defeat Belal Muhammad back in 2019. That's 4 years. And he fought Edwards, and it was a no contest. So you know what? Run it back. Let's get this fight a contest. What is that? Or Khamzat. I'll even take Khamzat if he fights. Or Burns. Why on earth are we going to give this to Colby Covington? And I love that. Leon Edwards is like, nah, he set out for a year and he didn't do anything. And in the post-fight interview, he said Leon Edwards had to work his ass off for that title shot. And Colby just slides in there because he talks Shazer? No, get that out of here, man. He should not get a title shot. Leon Edwards should be fighting. Honestly, just because Khamzat missed weight, he should be fighting, and he's coming off a win against Kevin Holland. He should fight Belal Muhammad. He should fight Belal Muhammad, or if Gilbert Burns beats Jorge Masvidal, he should fight Gilbert Burns. If Masvidal somehow magically beats Burns, then he should be fighting Belal. That's it. That's it. Regardless, this has been your boy Gomi. Overall, the card was okay. It was nothing too crazy, to be honest. It wasn't that good of a card, but I enjoyed it. My boy Leon Edwards won. This has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.